What is going on, everybody? Been a diehard Pistons fan since 2003 and starting to get very optimistic about this Pistons team. The Pistons have what I consider to be a test game tonight against the defending champions, the Boston Celtics. In this video, we are going to go through and talk about three things I will be paying close attention to tonight. We're going to talk about what I think the ticket to winning the game is going to be. And we're also just going to speak on if this game is even winnable, because the Celtics are obviously a really tough team, defending champions, well put together 1 through 5 and into the bench. So it's going to be a tough one, and we're going to speak on that. So the first thing that I'm going to be paying close attention to is, can the Celtics slow down Cade? As of late, Cade has really had no problem whatsoever with some of the premier defenders in the league. We just played against the Hawks, and Dyson Daniels, somebody who has historically gave him trouble, he was able to rip him apart and get buckets on him any way he wanted. So I really don't know what to expect, because the Celtics have so many of those capable point of attack defenders, so many different bodies that they can throw at Cade, whether it's Holiday or Derek White, or even Jaylen Brown. Tatum could get switched on to him at points because they are still pretty switch heavy. So I'm really curious to see, can Cade go at those guys? Not just one of them, but all of them. Because realistically speaking, when you look at the whole roster 1 through 5, the Boston Celtics have more perimeter defenders than probably any other team in the league. And that could potentially be a problem. I know in other games where we have played the Celtics this year, it's been a bit hit or miss, but they've also been without a few guys in a couple of those games. So not really sure what to expect, but it's definitely going to be something I pay close attention to. So moving on, the next thing I'm going to be paying close attention to is going to be, can Jalen Duren contain their stretch bigs? Throughout the year, Jalen Duren has struggled with many of the stretch bigs across the league. He has gotten better at it with time, and throughout the past couple months and weeks, he's done a better job of shutting down these types of guys. But the Celtics have the personnel to be able to go 5 wide as much as they want, whether that's using Porzingis as a popping big man, or even if they have Al Horford at the center stepping out to the three-point line. They have the guys capable to stretch out the floor and provide ultimate spacing for their scores. And I'm really curious to see, can Jalen Duren keep up with that? I know that in a couple of the other games against the Celtics this year, Porzingis was able to get a little hot, and that was quite a bit earlier in the year, but it has been exposed in the past. So I will be paying close attention to that, because I do think that we have gotten better at guarding those types of offenses since then. So I'm really hoping that there can be a good effort at trying to stop that. And I think that it'll be a big factor on if we're able to steal this game. So the last thing I'm going to call out here is going to be just, can we keep the energy against a team like the Celtics and speed them up? Right now, we have so many athletic players on the roster. We've done a great job of getting out in transition and picking the pace that we play the game at, which is often getting stops that are leading into fast break opportunities that turn into lobs and fast break dunks. And I'm curious to see if our guys that typically are able to ignite that, like Ron Holland, like Beef Stew, like Ausar Thompson, are able to speed up the Celtics. Because if they're able to speed up the Celtics and get out in transition, they're able to speed up anybody in this league. So I'm going to pay close attention to that to see if our energy guys, especially Holland and Stew off the bench, are able to kind of dictate the pace and bring the same energy that they have been bringing against a lot of these other teams in the league, all of which that are probably not good as the Celtics. So to speak on what I think the ticket to win is going to be, it's going to be the perfect storm. That's what it's going to take tonight. It's going to take the perfect storm of us knocking down our three-point opportunities. One of Beasley or Hardaway is going to have to get hot. We're also going to have to do a good job of speeding them up and leaning into that, because that's something that has brought us success against every other team as of late. And we're also going to need to play solid defense. We're going to need to do everything right. We can't turn over the ball. There is just no room for error against this Boston Celtics team. When we go into a game against the Hornets or against the Clippers without Norman Powell and Kawhi Leonard. We might be able to disappoint in one area, but excel in a couple others and get away with a win. That's not how it's going to work against the Celtics, so it's really going to take the perfect storm tonight, and that's going to be really important to just start from the top, which is knocking down our shots, because if we're missing our open threes, it's going to be an early and quick night. Now, you might listen to this video and say, Jacob, this is really a different type of outlook and energy than what you typically have in these preview videos as of late. And that's because it's the Celtics. Look, I don't like the Boston Celtics. Not a big fan, personally. I'm a Pistons fan. Go figure, right? Not a big fan of the Celtics. But I do acknowledge the fact that they are the most complete and proven team in the NBA today. Maybe someone would argue against the Thunder. Maybe someone would argue for the Cavs. What I would tell you is neither of those teams have shown me what the Celtics have shown me in playoff basketball. And that entire core from last year, top to bottom of the roster, is back and active. They are still a great team, and I feel like they are just a really tough team for us to match up with. If I go down the list and talk about teams in the league that I don't like our chances against, it's a pretty short list, but the Celtics are on that list. When you get down to that second tier of teams, we're talking the Celtics, Celtics are not included. When we're talking about that second tier, the Bucks, the Pacers, the Clippers, the Rockets, the Grizzlies, the Knicks, those types of teams, I feel really good about the Pistons going toe-to-toe with them at this point in time. I never would have thought that I would have been saying that early in the year at this point, but that's where we're at. But there is still a very short list of teams that I just have a really hard time comprehending how we can potentially match up with them and have their number and beat them. The Celtics are a part of that group, and that's why I said it's going to take the perfect storm. We're not going to go in there and turn over the ball 18 times and win this game. We're not going to show up and shoot 20% from three and find a way to win this game. We're not going to show up and get out-rebounded and find a way to win this game. We're going to have to be clicking on all cylinders to win this game. But the thing about it is, if they're able to win this and extend this winning streak to 8, they can do anything. I already think so highly of this team, but this is a bar that they have yet to cross for me, which is beating a true top-tier team in a game where there's stakes on the line, everybody's healthy, and they're playing for something important, and that is continuing what is becoming an historical win streak for the Pistons. So I'm really excited. My expectations are low. Wouldn't call this quite a scheduled loss, but it kind of is. I won't be upset whatsoever if they lose this game, because I just really think this Celtics team is legit and a tough matchup for us. But let me know what you guys think. We'll catch up soon.